themselves in refugee camps and a second home in England, France, Australia, Canada, and Germany. Many more refugees found their freedom and second home in a merciful America who extended her arms as a beacon and symbol of freedom and opportunity.
The people of Vietnam found themselves without a country overnight. We did not know where to get refuge and who will accept us.
The United States of America, yes, America took us in.
How does she feel now? What went through her mind when she saw the boat?
Rất là vui mừng khi gặp. Very happy. Rất vui mừng chị lắm, cứu được một lần này như là sống được cha mẹ đẻ thì một lần nữa.
When the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees implemented a program to deport refugees back to Vietnam in the 1990s.
But America did not forget nor abandon them.
A compassionate America provided a second home to those seeking refuge.
For the past 40 years, America welcomed all Vietnamese people who came to her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to this park, and I want to congratulate you on becoming citizens of the United States.
Some 200,000 Vietnamese have been living in the United States since 1975, and many of them are now becoming American citizens. At this naturalization ceremony in the San Francisco Federal Building, Chinese and other Asian immigrants outnumbered the Vietnamese. But that may not be true for long.
You are the latest in a long line of men and women who have come to this country as immigrants.
And they found it through a merciful America who extended her arms indiscriminately to the poor and the rich, the elderly and the disabled, the heroes of a war-torn country and its citizens.
Where are you going to go?
All Americans welcome the Vietnamese immigrants.
I'm honored to have played a role in calling the United States Navy into action to rescue Vietnamese boat people from the South Pacific Ocean in 1979. And in order that we receive an average of 14,000 immigrants per month from the previous war zone. We also encourage other national leaders to follow our lead.
For the hundreds and thousands of heroes who were caught in a war-torn country, trapped under an oppressive regime and caged in the shadows of re-education camps.
A lot of people feel abandoned by the Americans, okay? Please give a message to President Reagan. What do you want to tell him?
Every prisoner is a scam. We can have.
Today, America is home to nearly 2 million Vietnamese American. Our culture and customs, our language, our food, such as nước mắm, fish sauce, mắm ruốc, shrimp paste, are still wholly intact.
These scenes recall the sights and sounds of Vietnam, but they're all local. Downtown San Jose. So many Vietnamese restaurants and stores have opened in downtown San Jose that they now call this area Little Saigon. And hundreds of Vietnamese have found jobs in the electronics and computer industries in Silicon Valley.
Ở bên đây á, nhớ quê hương và nhiều chùa và cũng nhiều nhà thờ, đạo gì cũng có mà bánh chưng bánh tét cái gì cũng đầy đủ, mứt bí rồi đầy đủ như Việt Nam vậy. Ở bên đây cũng vui lắm, bán bông bán hoa đầy đủ hết.
Today, all Vietnamese Americans enjoy the experience of personal freedom, democratic rights, and the right to personal happiness.
We thrive in a land of freedom. We were given an inalienable right to pursue our happiness and our right to liberty and to live freely. Our Vietnamese culture is very much alive and thriving with new dreams of a better tomorrow.
Chào mừng, kính chào quý vị. Tôi là Chuck Reed, Detroit, thành phố San Jose. Kính chúc quý vị năm mới vui vẻ, vạn sự如ý, làm ăn phát tài.
Kính chào quý vị, chúc mừng năm mới.
Kính chào TV, tên tôi là Deepak Q.
Chúc mừng năm mới.
Today, on this occasion, we are also celebrating IRCC's 39th anniversary, and we would like to take this opportunity to extend our deep appreciation and gratitude toward a nation that extended her arms when she did not have to and gave us a world of dreams.
Thank you for inviting me to celebrate the 33rd anniversary of resettlement in the United States. And although I cannot be with you tonight, I stand in spirit along with you, other prominent members of the Vietnamese American community and dignitaries, to thank the Immigrant Resettlement Cultural Center and Mr. Vu Van Lock for the dedication and work that has led to hope and better futures for thousands of Vietnamese refugees over the past 32 years. Congratulations on the lives you have built for yourselves in our great nation, and may good fortune follow you for generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, America.
Thank you, America.
If tomorrow all things are gone, I work for my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Gây lực trân trọng kính chào quý khán thính giả người Việt khắp nơi. Kính thưa quý vị, anh Phạm Phú Nam hiện là giám đốc chương trình Dân sinh Media, là một tổ hợp truyền thông của IRCC. Anh đã ở ngoài tuổi 60 vẫn còn đầy nhiệt huyết và kiến thức để tiếp tục công việc. Thế nhưng anh Nam bị căn bệnh hiểm nghèo và tuần tới sẽ bắt đầu giai đoạn trị liệu quan trọng. Chính các bác sĩ cho biết đây là trường hợp hết sức quan trọng vì sẽ không biết là việc điều trị tương lai ra sao. Xin phép được nhắc lại, anh Phạm Phú Nam đã phải chịu gần 8 năm sống ở trong chế độ cộng sản, vượt biên qua Mỹ, xây dựng gia đình và đóng góp rất quan trọng vào chương trình dân sinh với radio, TV và DVD trong hơn 25 năm. Để vinh danh những đóng góp của anh Nam, ngày 1 tháng 5 năm 2022 tại quận hạt Santa Clara đã có một buổi vinh danh anh Phạm Phú Nam. Chúng tôi ghi nhận những hình ảnh như sau.
And at this time, I would like to invite his wife, Miss Kwan In, and his son, Viet Phạm, to come to the stage. And I also like to invite Congresswoman Zoe Laughlin, State Senator Dave Cortese, and Board Supervisor Cindy Chavez to come and present them with your commendations.
Wasn't that a marvelous video? And it reminds me of how much we owe not only our country, but Mr. Nam Phan. You know, we're here today not only to remember Black April and to remember those who've made the Thank You America ceremony popular, but especially to honor Nam Phan, a former refugee himself, and someone who for almost 40 years produced hundreds of magazines, documentaries, audio records to preserve Vietnamese history and culture in the United States for future generations. Since 2015, he has hosted the Thank You America event along with Mark Blue, and it's the only thing I'm aware of in the country where refugees and their sons and daughters come together to say thanks to the United States. It's an amazing and very moving thing for me. I remember so well the fall of Saigon, and as the first refugees came here to our community, first the military individuals who were up at the seminary in Los Gatos, and then others, people who had escaped, people who later got on little boats out into the sea, picked up by our Navy ships, and we welcomed these refugees as new Americans. And we understand now how lucky we are that the Vietnamese community is so centered here in San Jose. You have not only built a free life for yourselves, but you have enriched our community immensely, really, without words to express. Part of that is standing up against communism, standing up for freedom, never forgetting that we will stand up for human rights in Vietnam, but also understanding we must be vigilant to protect our own Constitution, and to make sure that our wonderful democratic republic continues endlessly on into the future. I want to present to the family of Nam Pham this congressional resolution honoring his life and his work. I had the great privilege to be able to talk with him and his son Vincent, who's here today, on a Zoom video just a short while ago. As we know, he is facing a tremendous health challenge. I reminded him that Jimmy Carter, who was on this video, faced that same health challenge and survived. So we need not just the best medical care in the world, but we also need the prayers of each of us for his successful recovery. I would like now to present this congressional resolution to his family with love, with thanks, and with prayers for his recovery.
Kính chào quý vị. And here at a very somber time, many of us in this room, most elected officials were at several Black April events yesterday, and we acknowledged at those events just what a somber and serious time this is, a time of remembrance. And when Mr. Wapu asked me personally to come forward today and be part of this event, the day after we celebrated our other events, he specifically said to me that I want to make sure that we have a long overdue recognition of Nam Pham. It just so happens that Congressman Lofgren, I talked to Nam very recently, from the state capitol, sitting outside one of the committee rooms. We scheduled a call and spoke for about a half hour. And I can only describe that as a friendship, a deep friendship that goes back many, many years. And even though we have dealt with each other professionally and negotiated things professionally, and perhaps even had a few tense moments over the last couple of decades, somehow, some way, he would always flash that big smile and let me know that I should smile a little bit more, and let me know what a dear friend he is and will always be. So it's wonderful to be here to recognize him today. I think many of the people in this room already know this, but his first love has always been IRCC. And he's always approached me from the standpoint of the Vietnamese community getting their fair share of resources, government resources, to make sure that nobody was left out. Nobody's left out. And I can give you specific examples of that. Him coming to me and pulling me aside and saying, we need to be part of the census count because we need to make sure that every single Vietnamese person here in this county is counted, and we can lead that effort, but we can't do it without resources. When the pandemic hit, he pulled me aside and said, we need to be part of making sure that everyone is vaccinated and everyone's protected and the health of our community is protected. And we can lead that effort. We can help lead it through IRCC. But somebody has to make sure that we get the resources to do that. And I could go on because he's pulled me aside so many times now over decades and pushed and pressed to make sure that the Vietnamese community is getting its fair share, but for the reason that he wanted to make sure, humanistically, that nobody was left behind. That's Nam Pham. Now, somehow, separate and apart from that, he's remained as an individual, like so many of you, very engaged civically and politically. He doesn't stand on the sideline when it comes to expressing his values through political choices and decisions. And I respect that greatly as somebody in this arena that I'm in. And lastly, what we just saw on the screen. If he wasn't so dedicated to this world of nonprofit, of making sure that seniors have meals and nutrition, of making sure that everyone's counting the census, of making sure that everyone's public health is first and foremost, he probably could have been one of the greatest journalists in the Bay Area, because he's always had this natural ability above and beyond anyone I've met to produce, to direct, to express artistically and capture artistically things that we would otherwise would never appreciate or realize. What a great gift to all of us. And what a great gift to all of us that he has pursued that up above and beyond, the 60 or 70 hours a week he's been working on his primary occupation. So there's so much more. But his family is behind me here today. I want to present them this certificate of recognition from the California State Senate. But I'm sure, like most families, they're thinking, nice comments, but you hardly know it. Because I'm sure that the little bit that I know about this wonderful man over the last several decades, again, is still just a small part of the wonderful person that he's been as a human being amongst his own family and amongst his other friends. Thank you so much, and for letting me be here.
I have the privilege of presenting this board commendation to Nam Pham in recognition of his service to the Vietnamese American community and to the Vietnamese diaspora around the world. and for his many, many, many contributions to Santa Clara County. I'm just going to cover a couple things that weren't covered. He was a busy, and is a busy man. Mr. Pham was a former chair of the Vietnamese Reach for Health Initiative. And this is a coalition of community-based organizations, health experts, and UCSF working together to improve cancer prevention for the Vietnamese Americans here in Santa Clara County. His distinguished record of achievement in media engagement on essential topics advanced Vietnamese American understanding really of health, which is so critical for all of us. For more than 30 years, through IRCC and Denson Media, Mr. Pham has developed an extensive health information network that many, many people in our community rely on to learn about multiple health issues. Nam Pham is also a beloved journalist and a familiar voice to many, many of us, and in particular Vietnamese-speaking households who tune in every week to hear him about the latest news and issues affecting the community. We talked a little bit about what he'd already done during COVID. He did a beautiful job of making sure that we reached every corner of the community. And while his contributions are many, one that can be seen every day is Viet Museum, also known as the Museum of Bo People and the Republic of Vietnam, which he helped establish alongside his mentor, Mr. Loc Bu, to memorialize the experience of the Vietnamese Americans in search of their freedom. NAM has organized events celebrating Vietnamese culture and heritage and history, including Black April, Thank You America Day, and Lunar New Year celebrations. It really is my honor to have an opportunity to present this commendation to Nam Pham, to his family, to recognize and commend him for his years of tireless dedication, commitment, and advocacy. And for all of you who know him, and I'm sure he'll get a chance to watch this video, you know him to be a person of kind persistence. And what I mean by that is a gentle approach, but with tenacity and follow-up. So much of the benefits of the Vietnamese American community here, and that story was told by him over and over again. I have the honor of presenting this commendation to his family, really as a thank you for letting us share so much of his time. Thank you.
Dear Congresswoman Zola Friend, dear State Senator Dave Coffey, and dear County Supervisors in charge. It is a very emotional moment for our family to be here today. It's a great honor for me to be here today on behalf of my husband, Mr. Nam Pham, to receive the presentation of this service award winner. He regrets for not being able to be here today due to his illness and aggressive treatment, as you all know. We wish to extend our deepest personal appreciation to all of you and the community for this prestigious recognition. We would also like to duly recognize the community who comes together and on whom my husband's success rides. My husband is looking forward to coming back here and dedicating his time and effort working together with you to serve the country he loves once he set foot here many years ago. Once more, he would like to say thank you, America. I believe destiny has brought us from different cultures together. Destiny has pulled our community together and finally has pushed us together to form a very happy family. I recall how I met my husband many years ago. I still remember our days visiting UC Berkeley, where I came from, and had a lot of fun time together. And once more, I strongly believe that destiny will kindly let us stay strong together for many years to come. Right now, after this award, we are heading home to take care of Mr. Nam Pham, to share with him the moment today, and to show him the precious photos taken at this event. He will be very happy and grateful to see the photo and to hear what I'm going to share with you. So thank you very much. Thank you all the government officials, and also thank you for the community who come together to take a look of what he has been done and share with him what he's feeling about this country. Once more, he would like to keep asking me to say, thank you, America. Thank you very much.
Hello, kính thưa quý vị, tên con là Phạm Anh Việt. Hôm nay con rất là hân hạnh có được đại diện bố. Hôm nay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vincent Pham. I'm proudly here to represent, along with my mother, my family, my father, Mr. Nam Pham, at today's recognition ceremony. Knowing my father, he's faithfully served the Vietnamese American community here in the United States. Not for these awards, not for honor, not for recognition. Rather, he did it for me, he did it for my cousins, he did it for the young Vietnamese Americans in the back over there, he did it for this community. He did it so that even 47 years after the fall of Saigon, on April 30th, 1975, our community remains resilient, we have persevered, we remain strong, our culture is preserved, and our culture is continued to this day. My father has proudly partnered up throughout the past decades with Congresswoman Lofgren, State Senator Dave Cortese, Supervisor Cindy Chavez, and many of you in this audience. And in his, if I could just reiterate his words, it's more than a partnership. It has become a relationship and an enduring friendship. So if I may say just by their first name, my dad, he's so thankful to have friends like Zoe, like Cindy, like Dave, to come here and give him this honor. To him, he always tells me, he's just a normal man. He's just a normal 67-year-old man. But I know along with him and each and every person in this room, we will all continue his dream, we will continue our dream of a strong Vietnamese American community here in the United States as we work together to strive to create a more perfect union, not just for us, but for everyone in this country. And so I say thank you all for coming today.